is time for mid-season awards. And yes, the holographic floating diving man is the trophy. I thought it was a great look. I thought producer Joe was fantastic on this. And now, folks, without further ado, we're going to get to the award winners. You heard the finalists in the last segment, and now it's time to break down why they won and who they are. The Offensive Player of the Year mid-season in the National Lacrosse League is Jeff Teat of the New York Riptide. Leading the league with 73 points, including 35 goals and 38 assists, adding 58 loose balls, which is not huge for Offensive Player of the Year, but you get it, and shooting a 26.5% clip. Jeff Teat, congratulations. You win our first award, the Offensive Player of the Year. Jeff Teat, of course, like I said, leading the league in points, will probably do it a lot of times, but I think he leads in both assists. I think he's like third in assists. I lied. He's seventh in assists, but in the end, he's first in goals and first in points by 5, which is pretty impressive by what he's done. Like I said, shooting at the clip that he is separates him from the pack. Defensive Player of the Year. The finalists were Priolo, Hope, and Withers. The winner is Jake Withers. Jake Withers is on pace for a record smashing loose balls by like 50 plus, I believe is the stat that Adam Levy tweeted out. He has 182 loose balls, 19 calls turnovers, 10 block shots, and 229 of 300 face-off wins, which helps because when you're winning face-offs and playing defense on the same possession, if you have to play defense, obviously, the dude is a menace. He's also scored 11 points. I mentioned the 11 points because I feel like sometimes the best defensive players are like a Zach Currier, even though they get the transition player of the year. I'm not going to play the backdoor, front door game. I'm just going to tell you guys, I believe that Jake Withers, when you add the points, because defensive transition does help, and when you add the loose balls, gaining possessions for your team, it's unparalleled what he's doing. And add the fact, like I said, that he's got the 19 calls turnovers. It does not make any sense what he's doing in Halifax. The Offensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to an Albany Firewolf. It's Alex Simmons. Alex Simmons, 22 goals, 32 assists halfway through the season. It is absolutely bonkers. And his best Defensive Rookie of the Year impression, he's got 3 calls turnovers, which I did not even realize. But no, a 54 piece of points. Very good job for Alex Simmons. And that was kind of like a runaway. Defensive Rookie of the Year is going to go to Callum Jones. Callum Jones and Owen Grant were very close, but in the end, the 6 extra block shots was what did it for me. Callum Jones has been taking up anybody, does not care who you are. He will throw you on the ground and then fight you afterwards. The man is playing out of his mind for a guy his age. And by the way, he's also got 38 penalty minutes, which is double Brett Noseworthy on his own team for reference there. So Callum Jones, you are the Defensive Rookie of the Year. We're going to now go to Goalie of the Year, and that is going to be won by Christopher Origlieri. This is a very hot take because people are going to automatically crown Nick Rose, and I'll say, do we agree that Nick Rose has the better team defense in front of him? I think most would say yes, if not all. So why is a guy who's like 1% or less behind him in goalie save percentage, why is that not a thing? Why is Origlieri not getting his flowers? And this is not even an age thing. If the guy was 31, 41, or even 11, I would give him this award. He is keeping the Seals in games, and sometimes even when their offense sputters. And yes, it has gone a little droughts this year, but Chris Origlieri is doing it with less help than Nick Rose is, and that to me matters a boatload. Now, Our coach of the year is going to go to Glenn Clark of the Albany Firewolves. Nobody expected Albany to be good. Even people like Adam Levy, who thought that Alex Simmons would be a rookie of the year, did not see this coming. 8-2 is insane. Now, you had Dan Ladouceur, but his team is out of the playoffs right now. And I think the Riptide's turnaround has been a great thing. He was second place on my list. Matt Sawyer of the Toronto Rock, dominating the regular season, even without Tom Schreiber, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. But I think Glenn Clark has been the coach of the year so far. Rookie of the year winner is going to go to Alex Simmons. Alex Simmons beat out Callum Jones, and Ty Kurtzwood finished third for me. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. I told you guys Jeff Teat was the offensive player of the year. I stand by that. I said Jesse King has been doing great for Calgary, and no one's even talking about it. However, one player has done it without a big star. Yeah, well, Jeff Teat is putting up numbers. If the season ended today, I said it last year. There's no way in hell I'm giving an MVP to a guy who misses the playoffs. That is stupid. That is malpractice in journalism. What value do you bring? And don't say, well, they are fighting for the playoffs. I understand that. That does not mean you are the most valuable player. At some point, turnovers have to matter. Jeff Teat's shooting percentage has gone way up. But there is no way a guy in ninth, now if he was in 8th place, I promise you it is this close for me. Jeff Teat, if he was in the playoffs right now, the Riptide, if they were in the playoffs, Jeff Teat would have won it even as an 8 seed. Mark Matthews, what he is doing with Tom Schreiber struggling, with Tom Schreiber out, Mark Matthews of the Toronto Rock is my MVP. And I know I was told by some people that, oh, he had a great start, but he kind of fizzled out. Yeah, go back to the Montreal game, and after that, he's been great again. And that was with Tom Schreiber. The guy is putting up numbers. The guy needs to be respected. I think because they're the 1 seed, and because he's been doing it without Tom Schreiber, Mark Matthews gets my first place vote. Like I said, if Jeff Teat was 1 spot higher, he would be that guy. But at some point, winning has to matter in most valuable player. And playoffs, to me, has to be a bar you have to set. You cannot get first place votes if you're out of the playoffs. And that was not a Jeff Teat rant. That's a rant on the journalists and the voters of last year who had the nerve to say a guy who missed the playoffs had a first place vote. You cannot justify that in terms of value. A second place vote, fine. Third place, fine. If you're not winning and making the big dance, how can you be a first place vote? It doesn't make any sense. Mark Matthews gets the nod right now. Like I said, that could change if the Riptide make the playoffs. I would be all for Jeff Teat winning MVP. Not at this point in time. If they had beaten the Mammoth, he might have won MVP right now for me. Just saying. Again, not a Jeff Teat rant. It's more of a calling out reporters and voters who have value in what they say, and I thought they messed up last season, and I hope they don't do it again this year.